All right, in this video, we're going to show you a little bit on Atlas here. And so the first thing I'm going to do is go to atlas.heart.org and I'm going to sign in. If you have not created a sign-in yet, then it will give you the option to create a login. It is very important that whatever email address you've been using with us, that is the same email address you should be using with Atlas, because your Enrollware accounts and your Atlas accounts must be matched up via email. So once you are completely logged in on your dashboard, you'll see here that there are a couple sections here. So I have some tasks to complete. Obviously, I have a lot more tasks to complete than most of you guys will ever have. But under your tasks to complete, you can go ahead and see My Classes. And this is where you're going to be able to see your Instructor Essentials classes that you took, as well as any classes you've ever taken as a student. And then underneath there, you're going to see your proof of completion. This is where your instructor card is. And so this ACLS EP instructor, that is where I can view the e-card, or you can hit view all, and you can view all of your instructor certifications if you're teaching multiple disciplines. Underneath the proof of completion, you're going to see your disciplines. And this is all of the disciplines that you are allowed to teach, as well as the primary alignment for each one of those. If you hit the view more button on My Disciplines, you'll be able to see if you have any secondary alignments. So you can see that I do have a secondary alignment for ACLS and for BLS and several others. If you log in and you do not see that you are aligned with us, go ahead and click this link right here to find a training center. You'll search for our name, Kiser CPR. And when you hit search, it'll be the top one, and you can request alignment for any of the disciplines that you have. We normally send you an alignment request before you do your initial login right here, and so oftentimes when you log into your dashboard, you'll see an incoming alignment request for any of your disciplines, and all you have to do is hit accept. Now, if you are wanting to add some classes into Atlas, so that way when students go to the American Heart Association website, they can find the classes that you're looking to teach, go ahead and hit the Classes drop-down menu and go to Classes I Teach. As I do have an alignment with multiple organizations, I'm going to need to select my own organization, but for you guys, it should just be automatically under Kiser CPR and First Aid. Now, all you have to do to add a class to the AHA's website is to hit this button, Add a Class. Once you do that, you can select the course that you'd like to teach. We'll say a BLS provider class. We're going to be teaching it in the classroom, and I'm going to be teaching that class in English. The exam, typically we do offline exams, so paper and pencil exams. If you do have online exams, you can certainly do them online as well. I don't suggest it, but you can. And then the location. Obviously, if this is your first time doing this, then you'll have to hit the Add a Location button to add a location into our training site. Under that, you'll go ahead and select the course date, the start time, and if you wanted to do a withdrawal cutoff or an enrollment deadline, you can put those in there as well. I typically do not. Under the instructor name, you'll go ahead and select the instructor that will be teaching that class, as well as any supporting instructors. Putting in the class price is optional, but I tend to do it just for full transparency. And then under enrollment model, you have two options. If you select auto enroll, then when a student goes to enroll in your class, they're going to be automatically put onto this roster. You will not receive a notification from the AHA that somebody has tried to register for a class. You just have to come back in here and periodically check to make sure that to see if students are registering for your classes. Your other option is to do an approval-based registration, which is where you're going to get an email every time a student attempts to register for one of your classes, and you have to come into Atlas and either accept their enrollment or decline it for whatever reason. I'm on Atlas every single day, so I typically do auto enroll, but if it's not something that you're going to be on all day long, I would probably suggest that you do an approval-based method, so that way you're getting notified when students are trying to register for your classes. And then finally, you'll put in the contact information. This is optional, contact information for you, for students to be able to reach you, and then you're simply going to hit create, and that is going to create your class for you. Now, I'm not going to create that class because it is just a fake class, but we'll go ahead and we'll look at a few classes that are coming up here. And we can see that on 5/7, which is this evening actually, that there are 3 students that have attempted to register for this class. And so we can go ahead and hit select, and we see their first names, last names, and we see their email addresses as well. And so if you are going to just use Atlas as kind of your roster system, that's great. For me, I do not. We have our own roster system through our website that we use, and so I end up transferring these patients to my website registration system so we can have just better communication with the students. The other thing on Atlas that you will need to know is under training resources. First thing is that this is where the PAM is located, the Program Administrative Manual for the AHA. This is where you're going to find all the rules and regulations, all the do's and don'ts for the AHA, and it is the requirement and an expectation of all instructor candidates to go through the PAM and look at it to make sure that they are following the rules. The other link that's going to be very important for you is the course information link. Under course information, you can select any of the classes that the AHA puts on, and it's going to bring you to the instructor resources for that particular class. So I selected Basic Life Support Instructor Resources. So when we scroll down, you can see a bunch of resources for pre-course and course materials for a BLS class, from science summary tables to a paper roster to course evaluations, down to the sample agendas for each type of course that you can teach. In the course section, this is where you're going to find all of your skill sheets. Now, in my neck of the woods, we typically do mostly continual compression or high performance CPR, and so we tend to use this skills sheet a lot more than the 30-2 skills sheet. But this is where your skills sheets will live for all of your classes, is within the course information there. Some other information that you can have is about heart code. Heart code programs, if you are not familiar with heart code programs, heart code is where the students do the classroom portion online through the American Heart Association website, and then they come into you to do a short skills verification for about 45 minutes. Those students, you do not have them take an exam. They only do the skills, and then they give you their heart code completion certificate that they will receive when they complete the online portion of the class. So in Enrollware, where you will typically upload the student's exam as well as the skill sheet for each student, for heart code students, you will upload the heart code completion certificate as well as the skill sheet. In the score box, in the exam score box for each of the heart code students, you're just going to put not applicable or NA into the score box.